Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another Star vs. the Forces of Evil review. And we're back with Season 3, finally. And I know this took me a few days to get to, and for the rest of this event, I'll probably be at least a day late on everything. Because everything's kind of imploding in on itself right now, but you don't want to hear that story. So yeah, in this episode, we got the standard two, Scent of a Hoodie and Rest in Pudding. They're both... it's an okay start. It's okay. It's not bad, and it's not my focus, right? I've kind of got a new focus for this season, so things have kind of changed, and the show kind of has a new focus, but we'll get to that. I wouldn't okay. The first episode is kind of filler, so yeah, Scent of a Hoodie, kind of filler. It starts off, Marco's leaving, right? He's been in Muni for a while, so now he has to go back home. And everyone says goodbye. He gets a cloak, which is kind of him getting knighted. Kind of, not really, but it feels like he's been knighted or anything. And him and Star say goodbye. They have a weird, that phone call thing where it's like, bye. Or it's like, you hang up, no, you hang up, no, you hang up. Which, okay... Normally, I've said this before, my ship usually gets in the way of stuff like this, because I'm very blatant about this, because my ship interferes with what the show may or may not be trying to do. I honestly can't tell anymore, because it seems like it's going one way, then it seems like it's going the other way, but for the time being, my priorities have shifted, so I'm putting my ship aside. Okay. So Marco's asking, hey, have you seen my hoodie? And Star says, oh no, but she actually has it, and it hasn't been washed in a while. I feel like I've seen this exact same plot somewhere else before, but I don't know. But Ponyhead shows up, throws the hoodie down the laundry chute, and we get this laundry guy who's a knight of the Order of the Wash, a knight of laundry, the Templars Crusaders, or whatever the hell. He's got some okay lines, right? But he doesn't want to give Star the hoodie back. But after they do a little running around for a little bit, well, verbal, and then they do literal. Right, he doesn't want to give Star the hoodie back because it has to be washed because it's his knight's oath, and so Star doesn't want him to wash it, so she breaks down the door and they start chasing each other around for it, and eventually Star catches him, beats him up. Well, not really. He thinks she's gonna kill him, but she just doesn't want the hoodie to be washed. Pony has been saying she's going a little crazy. And she kind of is, but she kind of isn't, because love is a complicated thing. So she's kind of out the wazoo. And eventually he is able to get away with washing the hoodie, but he does it on a gentle load, so the scent still remains, kind of. That was a really cute line, honestly. It's kind of like, oh, he's a knight's oath, but he gets it, right? And so she gets the sweater back, and it's still, Ponyhead can't smell it, but she still can. So she sends it back to Marco, who smells it, and he smells Star because she wore it for the whole Battle of Muni event, assumingly. And again, I'm not going to let my ship get in the way, even though it feels like it should. I'm just going to let it slide. I got bigger fish to fry. So overall, it's an okay episode. Honestly, it feels like they're stalling a little bit, but it's kind of trying to introduce us to our characters, just reestablish a sort of grounding, right? I've definitely seen worse. This next episode, Rest in Pudding, on the other hand, I thought it was gonna be. I'm kind of torn, because on one hand, it kind of reminds me of Star vs. Echo Creek, which was an episode that could have easily backfired, and some people will argue it did, but I actually really enjoyed it, and I really thought it did a good job at the message it was trying to get across. And I thought this was going to do something very similar. Because it starts off with Lekmit's funeral, right? For once, a character in this show actually died. Because this is a show like Dragon Ball Z, where characters don't die, they just come back, right? Death isn't permanent. So to see Lekmit actually die, it's like, oh, they're going to do an episode tackling death, right? And how coping with it. That could be really good and really interesting. And then Glossaric shows up, and Star's like freaking out, like, oh, is Glossaric back, right? And the mom's like, no, you're just seeing his ghost. Everything's different now. The world may feel different, but that's okay. You just need to move on. And I'm like, okay. The problem already arises right here. Because I know from the second they set this up, Glossaric is going to come back. There's no way they're going to kill him. Well, but Lekmit was kind of a side character, right? They can get away with killing him, kind of. Yeah, basically. Glossaric, on the other hand, was very important. And at the end of Toffee, we saw he's still alive. The book was burned, but his spirit still exists, right? Inside Star with the whole digging down, digging deep. So we know he's going to come back. So some of these hard issues they're going to tackle are kind of undercut by the magical resurrection, right? But she's seeing Glossaric's ghost in reflections, right? So she calls Jana and asks her what to do about it, and Jana tells her to bury his anchor to the world, which she kept the last piece of the book. So she goes and buries it, and it seems like everything's going to be okay. It's not. The book piece comes back, and she starts, like, tripping out. He starts affecting the real world, which, I mean, it's not the most creative imagery I've ever seen, but it's okay. They reveal that Jana was sitting across from Marco and Jackie the whole time, which that's the funniest joke of the episode. This episode isn't too funny. Neither of these episodes really are, which I think Scent of the Hoodie was kind of trying to be a funny episode, and it kind of wasn't. But Jana is still hysterical, still my favorite character, right? Oh, she's hysterical. But Star realizes Star has to bury the book shard somewhere significant, so she drops it into the magic well, right? And she kind of goes on this rant about Glossaric, right, and what he means to her. It's all a metaphor. Did they do? I don't think they did the 5 stages of death. Or not death, I mean grief. It doesn't really feel like it, but at this end stage, this is kind of her acceptance at the end. Which, as she's leaving, the fountain starts to plume out, right? And liquid gets everywhere. Because, of course, Glossaric wasn't dead. This was inevitable. I knew like a minute or two in that, yeah, no, he was coming back, definitely. But does that undercut the message of the episode? I kind of feel like it does. I understand Lekmit didn't get that much development, so he wouldn't have worked great for this message. And Glossaric is different. In the next episode, we'll see they're treating him like a dog. So he's definitely changed, but still, it's kind of under. I just feel like it kind of ruins the message. Because I like the idea of this show tackling death. Just like I liked Star vs. Echo Creek tackling, well, running away from home, stranger danger, right? Stuff like that. This one could have done something similar, but I feel like it cuts itself short. And it ruins it with the magical resurrection, which is a removal of lack of stakes, which is a big problem I have with shows like these, right? But it's not the worst episode. I've definitely seen worse. And what makes me like or hate this show has changed. I now have something different. But we'll get to that, like I keep saying 100 times. But I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. I'll get around to doing more of these. Trust me, I'll still be a day behind, though. Until next time, peace.